All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Bill Barheit, founder and CEO at Abra. We have a special show for you today. Today, we're going to focus on giving. I find that people are most excited about giving during the holidays. And I thought, why not have a show dedicated to giving? So we're going to talk about how you can gift or donate crypto to charity and give crypto to your friends and family. We'll have a special guest with us today who's an expert on this topic, Alex Wilson, who's co-founder of the Giving Block. And we're going to talk to Alex about all things giving. Of course, we're going to do our market update. We'll get into an AMA. We'll talk about what I see, going on in the crypto markets. We're going sideways right now, and are we going to go up or down from here? We'll get into all of that, of course. But today I want to focus on giving and the holidays. Okay, so let's talk about the Giving Block and Alex for a second. So as I said, we'll get into it with Alex, talk about how you can donate crypto to a charity or a nonprofit using their Giving Block platform. The Giving Block is the number one crypto donation solution that provides an ecosystem for nonprofits and charities to fundraise Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You can receive funds instantly and become part of a network of crypto media partners to support their missions. They actually have over 600 charitable organizations onboarded already. It's pretty cool. And they're looking to grow partnerships within the crypto ecosystem. And Alex has an interesting background, started out as a tech management consultant, worked with a bunch of Fortune 500 crypto companies on things from crypto to AI, IoT, blockchain. And as he got more and deeper into the crypto space, he and his co-founder, Pat, discovered a need for nonprofits to tap into the new and growing crypto donor demographic. So additionally, we're super excited to be working with the Giving Block. They're going to be using Abra to manage part of their treasury. And we'll be creating a widget on our website to help our users donate some of their crypto to charity. So I'm super excited about that. During my discussion with Alex, we'll be popping up Giving Block's QR code, and you can scan the QR code from your smartphone to learn more about them. All right, welcome, Alex. Let's get into it. How you doing, man?
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me on today. Pumped for the conversation.
Yeah, me too. Really excited to have you here. So how did Giving Tuesday go for you guys? I'm curious.
Yeah, Giving Tuesday was awesome. And this was actually the third year that we did our own spin on it and called it Crypto Giving Tuesday,
Yep.
Of course. So this year, just on that day alone, we raised about $2.5 million in crypto
Awesome. All right,
so
fantastic.
really, really well.
Was there a particular recipient that did especially well, or was it kind of all over the map?
No, pretty much all over the map among the, we work with about 1,000 different nonprofits now. The one
Oh,
thing that actually, yeah, one thing that stood out actually is we saw a little bit of a flippening. For the first time, people donated more ETH than Bitcoin on Giving Tuesday. Yeah.
Very interesting. Let's get into that a little bit as well. So let's take a step back. Why did you start the Giving Block? And was there a specific tipping point or moment that said, okay, I got to leave my management consulting gig and I got to focus on crypto and giving?
Yeah. So, I mean, in 2017 in general, I just became obsessed with crypto, rode the ICO wave, thought I was a genius like everyone else that rode the ICO wave in 2017. But ultimately realized how important crypto was going to become in everyone's everyday life and what a big market it was going to become.
Yeah.
And was really inspired by a couple different things. But the one that really stands out is, are you familiar with the Pineapple Fund?
I'm not. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so the Pineapple Fund was either an individual or a group of people that posted on the Bitcoin subreddit in December 2017 and said, I made a ton of money investing in Bitcoin, and now I want to give a lot of that money away. Hey, nonprofits, basically apply below in the comments.
Got it.
This anonymous individual ended up giving away about $56 million worth of Bitcoin
Wow.
to 60 different nonprofits and stayed completely anonymous through the whole process. And
Amazing.
for most of these nonprofits, it was their first time ever accepting crypto, and a lot of them really struggled with it.
What is the most important reason why it makes sense to donate crypto specifically, or are there a couple of reasons?
Yeah, I would say the biggest one on the financial side, especially, is taxes, right?
Mm.
Like no one wants to really spend their Bitcoin really to buy a cup of coffee, trigger a taxable event. Luckily, with donations, it's not a taxable event. So you actually don't have to pay capital gains taxes on the crypto you donate. You get a fair market value deduction at the time of donation, and the charity, because they're a charity, they're tax exempt too. So both sides are about 30% better off than if you were donating fiat or writing a check or any other method.
Yeah. Well, what about on the charity side? So I get the tax thing. Is there, I mean, obviously I want all, if I'm a charity and I need donations, I want all possible donations. But is there a specific reason that for a charity, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or crypto makes more sense? Or is it simply, hey, it's yet another source?
I mean, getting another revenue stream is certainly part of it, but the other piece is basically getting a new group of donors too. Most of these people donating crypto weren't donating at all before and are only donating in crypto. And of course, they tend to be younger and tech savvy, which is typically a group or a demographic that's harder for nonprofits to reach. Their average donor is a 60 or 70-year-old mailing them a check every month in the mail. So it's a pretty different donor demographic for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And how are you guys yourselves funded? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So, we are a for-profit company, even though all of our clients are nonprofits, and we set up like a traditional fundraising platform where we've got basically a SaaS model, right? Nonprofits choose from different packages based on how hands-on they want us to be. So some just want to be able to have the technical infrastructure to accept crypto. Others, like the American Cancer Society, want us to spend a lot of one-on-one time with them to build an actual crypto fundraising campaign.
Yeah. Are politicians allowed to use the platform?
So that's something where we're exploring right now. We're starting to get a lot more interest there, but as you can imagine, the compliance of it is a bit more complex, but we're working with a partner right now to kind of work through that. And hopefully in the midterms, we'll see some more politicians accepting crypto.
And when you think about setting up a nonprofit and a charities that wants to accept donation, what are the biggest hurdles to being able to accept donations in general?
I would say it's the general skepticism you see with the public against crypto, right? It's usually an educational gap where people maybe don't realize how far crypto has come, how large the market is in terms of the number of users, the amount of money in the space. But once you get through some of those initial hurdles of the educational gap, they're usually pretty excited, especially when they start seeing the results and how much has been donated already. I mean, this year alone, we expect to raise over $100 million in crypto donations.
Wow. So this year ending in 2 weeks, you'll have processed 100 million, or are you talking about next year?
Yeah. No, this year.
Wow. Okay. And back to my original question, is this all over the map? Is there something that's driving this success for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the growth of crypto in general is really what's driving it, right? Both the kind of general mainstream acceptance of crypto, but also, of course, prices going up means people have a lot more, gains essentially, right? And they want to donate some to offset that. And we're seeing a lot more high net worth individuals donating too. And you might have
Are there
seen,
any, sorry to interrupt. Are there any crypto projects set up as charities that you can donate to, meaning like Bitcoin open source devs or Ethereum open source devs, for example?
Yeah, there are a few out there. They aren't always set up as a 501c3 though. Like one that comes to mind is like Gitcoin, right? Where you can fund open source projects, things like that, but those aren't necessarily nonprofits.
Gotcha. So back to the question. So back to your other comments, 100 million is a lot of money. What was the growth from last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty significant growth. Last year, we raised just over 4 million in donations.
That is astounding growth. That's 25x. And your business model is like you take a processing percentage, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a combination of an annual subscription based on the package they choose and then a transaction fee too. And it's a pretty wide variance, kind of depending on how much handholding they want, right? For a lot of it, there's almost like a consulting component to it, where we're educating them on crypto more generally, like how do you market this to your audience, like helping them speak at conferences, all these different things.
Yeah. And are any of these charities basically saying, hey, we prefer to hold crypto, or do they basically want dollars and you have to convert for them? How does that work?
More and more want to hold actually. So last year almost none did, but actually the longer they work with us, the more likely they are to want to hodl. So I would say maybe it's not a lot yet, but maybe 5% of our clients actually hodl now.
Okay.
And it tends to be the ones who have been working with us for more than a year and are a bit more comfortable.
Fantastic. So hopefully we've got that QR code up on the screen, because I would love for people to go to your site and learn more about this. Do you have like a setup process for even new charities? Do you have new charities going like right to crypto yet? Or is it still, or do you even help people do both, meaning cash and crypto? I'm new. What do I do? Like, in your opinion, what's the best way to get going?
Yeah, so we only deal with crypto. We don't do any sort of credit card processing or anything like that. But yeah, we've got, I would say a dozen nonprofits a day signing up and getting onboarded.
Oh, they don't need my help. Everybody seems to find you. Wow.
Well, so yeah, they just come to our site, they book a demo, they learn a bit, they sign up, and usually they're up and running in a week.
Yeah.
So it happens pretty quickly, and then it's all about getting in front of donors, really.
Yeah. So basically you become like another checkout process during the giving, the checkout for giving process, whatever you would call it.
Exactly. There'll be a donate crypto button next to the other options, essentially.
Okay. And what's your dream scenario for this? Where do you want this to go in the next, 1 to 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, there's kind of two sides to it. On the nonprofit side of it, we hope that accepting crypto donations is just as common as accepting credit card donations, where pretty much everyone is doing it, right? It would almost be unusual not to be accepting crypto because of how mainstream crypto has gone. And on the flip side, in the crypto community, our dream is really to create this culture of giving, where people, it's just like built into products, it's built into business models, it's a norm in the community. And one of the things we've done to try to drive that is the crypto giving pledge, where our goal is to try to get 1% of all crypto every year donated to charity. And if that happened, let's say the current market cap somewhere between 20 and 30 billion in donations, if that happened, right? That would make crypto the most charitable industry in the world. And of course, tell an amazing story. It would be great for the image of crypto too, right? And broader adoption. And we always say, like, we want to introduce people to crypto through charitable giving. Like, imagine hearing about Bitcoin for the first time because your local YMCA just got $1 million Bitcoin donation, right? That's such a cool way of being introduced to it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. It would seem to me that, a lot of these kind of hotspots around the world where you have disaster zones where you can't easily move cash around, but they probably have cell phones working, because cell phones always seem to be the last thing to go, right? It would just be an ideal model for disaster relief, or getting the equivalent of cash into the ground. I'm looking at, like, for example, what they do in El Salvador, which obviously is not a disaster zone, but you could take Lightning and do micro giving eventually into in some like disaster relief zones or places where they need it really quickly. And I bet you people would figure it out real quick if the money was falling like manna from heaven. Really interesting. Have you guys played with any of that? Like any of these kind of, I mean, it's harder, right? Because, you get into
happening though. Yeah. It's starting to happen more and more, even relatively recently, we saw it happening in Afghanistan, right? When the Taliban kind of cut off outside aid, essentially, you couldn't even use the banks there. We saw nonprofits experimenting with cash transfers using stable coins, essentially, to get money in and out.
Wow.
So we're starting to see that a lot more for sure, but I would say it's still in its infancy, right? It's mostly kind of the pilot stage still.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else that you want people to know? Obviously they can go to the site, the QR code, I saw it up there. Anything else that you want people to know about Giving Block, donating via crypto in general, or anything we haven't talked about?
I mean, I would just kind of remind people that, like, if you have crypto and you're donating fiat, you're making a mistake, basically. You can always donate the crypto and then rebuy that position with the fiat you would have donated, and you're coming out better, and the nonprofit's coming out better, right? So just like, if you are donating, consider doing it in crypto, because it's likely better for your bottom line, essentially. And yeah, I'm pumped to be working with Abra on a couple different things. We got a lot going on.
Awesome. Alex, this was really interesting. I'm super excited that we're able to support you guys in the treasury side. Hopefully we'll get you even more money so that you can build this company out bigger, better, faster, stronger. And I can't wait to see where you guys are this time next year, going from what 5 to or 4 to 100 million in charitable donations via crypto in 12 months is just an astounding achievement. So congratulations to you and the team. And thank you for joining us to educate our Money Talks viewers about donating crypto.
Thanks for having me, Bill. And next time we'll be at 1 billion in donations next year.
I look forward to hearing all about that. So best of luck to you and the company, and have a great holiday.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Happy holidays.
Thanks, man. You too. All right. So we're going to pivot now to talk about how you can give crypto to your friends and family. So here's a little quick video on how Abra works. All right, welcome back. So this year I want to challenge all of you to think a little bit outside the box and consider giving crypto to your friends and family this holiday season. I'm sure it's come up. I'm sure many of you are planning to do it, but for those of you who aren't, let's talk about it for a minute. So giving crypto is much easier than you think and doesn't have to be expensive. And this helps people who have yet to start their crypto journey to get started. So you could give an NFT, for example, right? You can go to Rarible or OpenSea, and they'll let you gift NFTs directly via their app or website. It's pretty interesting. I've checked it out myself. Of course, now we have Bitcoin gift cards. Just do a little Google search for Bitcoin gift cards, and you'll find a way to give Bitcoin that way. The gift cards usually come with a code that has to be submitted to a participating company's website, and then the value of the gift card is converted to Bitcoin, and then you can obviously put it into your new Abra wallet as the Bitcoin recipient. And obviously, you can send Bitcoin via Abra, or any crypto for that matter via Abra. It's super simple. There's two ways to do it, right? So if you want to gift crypto in a way that uses the blockchain, you would just go to the trade screen and hit the withdraw button. You would withdraw the crypto that you choose to the recipient's deposit address in their Abra app. The other thing you can do, right, is you can actually go to the send function in the Abra menu, and you can send TrueUSD to another user's phone number, right? And so there's a couple of different ways to do it, but for most of you, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use that withdraw button. After you hit withdraw, you'll see an option to send crypto to wallet. You click on that, and once you click send crypto to wallet, you can choose the kind of crypto you want to give. And you'll see a prompt to send to a wallet and the amount you want to send. All right. And by the way, if you want to give Cprx to a friend, you can use your referral code. And then when they sign up and make a deposit, you'll be giving them some Cprx as well. But I send TrueUSD via that send money function in the main menu all the time. It's a very simple way to send somebody $50, and it costs $0. We don't charge anything for it. There's no network fee. There's no mining fee. It simply goes to the other user's Abra wallet. Really simple. And if you want to go to a different wallet from Abra, you can just use the withdraw function as I described. Okay, let's take a look at how all this works. Hit it. All right, welcome back, everyone. So let's get into what's going on in the crypto markets. So as I said, we've got a little bit of a chop situation here. I'll bring up my charts in a second, but we're basically let's see. So we're basically at right under 47,000 on the Bitcoin markets. We're right at about 3,900 Ethereum. Let me bring up my hourly chart here while I'm talking. Yeah, and I'll give you my reading of the tea leaves, but the bottom line is that the market is still looking for direction. Hold on a second, let me share my screen. That would help. All right, there we go. Share screen. Actually, there's two things I want to show you first. Let me show that. Never mind. I'm going to come back to that. Let me show you the chart. So here's the hourly on Bitcoin right now. Okay, and you can see if I go back all the way back to like December 4th, which is when we had that kind of initial meltdown, we've more or less been sideways, right? Kind of above and below this 48,000 line ever since. We're below it right now. We were above it yesterday. My guess is we'll get back above it again. I don't think we're going to break down from here. We just, we had a pullback to about 45, 46,000 a few hours ago. And we're obviously, we had a reversal candle a couple hours ago. So we're still in the chop, right? I'm just moving the chart around here so you can get a feel for the fact that we're in the chop. If I do the same with Ethereum, right? Ethereum's, that's the 1 hour on Ethereum. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you can see Ethereum was looking pretty good until about 2 days ago. Ethereum was looking really good. Broke down overnight. We're back in the same channel again, all the way over to the right, back to December 4th. Now we're really at the bottom of that kind of short-term Ethereum channel. I'll zoom out a little bit for you here. I'll go to the 4 hour and you get a better feel for what I'm saying. Ethereum's been in this multi-day channel and you can see we're kind of in the middle bottom of that channel. All right. So let me switch. I want to show you, just to put this in perspective, I'm going to stop this share. I want to bring up another. So this is something else I've been looking at. And let me see here. Yeah. All right. So just to make the point, we've never really had post-halving, right? And we're now in this kind of fourth halving cycle here, right? You can see 2011, 2013, 17, 21, right? Look at these, the slopes of these lines. These were price gains post, in a bull market, I should say, not halving. These were bull markets. And as you can tell from the slopes of these four lines, 2011, the price run up was much, much bigger than the current run up, but it's still there. Okay. So what that tells me in each case, now look at the circle. This is kind of the final melt up in that market run up where we had bull market volatility. It happened in 11, it happened in 13, it happened in 17. It has not happened in 2021. Okay. Now this is not guaranteed to happen, but I would be shocked if it didn't. A lot of it, and it's not about the nature of Bitcoin, it's about the nature of people, right? People tend to act in extremes, right? So if people are excited about something, right, there's euphoria, and you basically get these kind of extreme melt-ups as a market peak. Now, Bitcoin's volatility is decreasing over time, which is why the slopes on these bull runs are getting smaller. That's fine. We don't mind that. Right? Ethereum is pulling up a lot of the slack, which is why I do think that there could be a flippening in the next 18 months on Bitcoin Ethereum market cap. Who cares? It is what it is. But the bigger point is we have not seen, and I'm moving my arrow if you can't see it, in this last circle, we have not seen that melt up here in 2021. And I think it's going to happen in mid to either late December, early January, going into April. And I think we're going to see a significant run up in Bitcoin, potentially up to 150,000. I would be shocked if it didn't happen. Okay. Again, it's not investment advice. It's not even me trying to make like predictions. It's just me showing you where the markets have come from and where they seem to be going based upon where they've come from. And as I said, the slope is getting smaller in each bull run, and there is a market capitulation to the upside. As you can see in each circle, it does get smaller, and it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so there's another, I think I have to stop this. There's another image I want to show you on where we're at right now. So let me stop this and let me see if I can do this. Share screen. Here we go. Aha. All right. So I wanted to, my friend Will Clemente, my Twitter friend, who I think you should all be following. I talk about him all the time, has a couple of really interesting posts this week. This is one from his report today, and hopefully you can see this. This is basically a descending wedge in or a bull flag, depending upon which way the market ultimately moves. But this is the daily Bitcoin chart via our friends at TradingView using Coinbase price data. And as you can see, we're kind of narrowing in on the daily chart on a price that looks to be around 47,000-ish, maybe 48,000-ish. And like I said, that's kind of in that no man's land of that multi-day pattern that we've been in, that you can see here in the wedge. But it's going to resolve itself. These flags resolve themselves 100% of the time. Nothing moves to the right in a straight line. So the question is it going to resolve itself up or down? Now, for it to really resolve itself up, meaning, the bull trend that we were in continues, we really need a break above 53,000. This is a number that Will's been talking about ad nauseum. I agree with that number. I want to see confirmation at 54,000 so that it's not a fake out. We get a lot of fake outs in Bitcoin trading, and that's driven by the futures markets, which we've talked about in the past. So in other words, if we break 53K, I'm not, hey, all things are back to normal, bull trend continues. I want to see a break above 54K, then I know we're back in business. On the other hand, if I see a clean break below on a daily chart, not an intraday chart, but on a daily chart, if I see a breakdown here below, let's say 44,000, I'm worried. All right. And I'm worried not for the long-term viability of Bitcoin. I'm simply worried on a short-term trading basis that we're in a short-term bear market. We are not in a bear market right now. We're still in a pullback. But if I see new lows coming out of this wedge, then I'm probably going to be worried. Okay. I think that this is going to resolve itself to the upside. Could be wrong. There doesn't seem to be a lot of conviction on the selling. Seems like every dip gets bought, which is why we're in this wedge. It's on pretty low volume, a lot of the selling. So that gives me comfort as well. So, we'll see. Let me go back to my other chart. We'll get into some questions on some of the altcoins that I'm seeing here. And we'll take a look at that. And by the way, I am seeing your questions today. We've got some really good questions teed up. We will get to them in a moment. Let me just bring up the price chart for another minute here. And yeah, got a lot of family here, so we're gonna do a bit of a shorter, abbreviated show today, but we will get to the questions. Okay, so you should be looking at the price chart, and this is the 4-hour Ethereum chart. As I said, what it basically tells us is we're more or less going sideways. If I go back to the daily here, that's my favorite chart. The Ethereum daily chart is really the most important chart to me in crypto right now, because I think what's going to happen here, see, we've made, if you look at the September lows, right? This is basically a pullback, which if the channel maintains, right, we should be in, somewhere up here, which would put us in 6,000, 7,000 territory in Q1, excuse me, for Ethereum. And the network effects for Ethereum still continue unabated. The technology upgrades seem to be working. It's taking longer than expected, but I expect a lot of positive news for Bitcoin. We also are holding steadily above the 128-day moving average. I don't put a lot of value in that, but others do, and it seems to be holding nicely. Solana is showing pretty strong relative strength here. What that tells me is if we get a nice bull run with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would not be surprised to see another 2x out of Solana. It is looking particularly strong. I am, coming out of Miami, Art Basel, everything was about NFTs at Art Basel. It was really astounding. I'm really bullish on Solana. I'm bullish on Mana, Decentraland. Let's take a look at that. Where's Mana? Can't find it now. Oh well. Oh, there it is at the bottom. Not sure why. Yeah, it's definitely had a pullback. It seems to be leveling out. There was a lot of euphoria when Facebook changed their name. I think that had a halo effect. It got ahead of itself. This is probably a better time to be buying. If you're interested in the metaverse, I would say Mana is interesting. I would say I've mentioned Render. We don't support Render yet on Abra. I hope we do soon. Matic looks really interesting to me. Where are we doing? Oh, not going to come up there. There we go. Yeah, so Matic actually on a relative basis looks pretty strong right now. So the pullback, it hasn't been as severe as some of the other altcoins that I've seen. It's actually up today. So if you're interested in the metaverse plays, there are a bunch of ways to play it. Ethereum is interesting, of course. Wax is interesting. I've talked about Wax on the show many, many times. Wax pulled back dramatically off the lows. I think it got way ahead of itself. Congrats to those of you who took profits when Wax got up to $1. But I do think Wax has got a whole lot more upside. But the bottom line is that Bitcoin is still going to lead the way. Let me close this here and let me zoom out so you can see where we are, right? And Bitcoin is basically, here we go up, here we go up. The pullback, we have not made a lower low versus the October 1 pullback. That's bullish. If we make a lower low and we really get into the 30,000, the mid 30,000 range, all bets are off. And, I would say we're in a bear market. And then the question is, do we break the 30,000 low? I don't see it happening. There's simply too much demand and there's too many dips being bought. So my reading of the tea leaves, as I said, we're in this channel right here, descending on 47, 48,000. I think we may see a fake out to the downside, briefly to 46, but I think it's going to resolve itself to the upside and we'll recover to 54,000. That may not happen in December, right? This is not a big deal to go sideways for a few weeks. Yes, I thought we were going to go higher in December. So what? It's just Bill's opinion, right? We could go sideways for weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to go up sooner rather than later, but I could be completely wrong. And this is just a technical reading on the show. The fundamentals to me have not changed, right? There's simply not enough Bitcoin to go around. The network effects for Ethereum, Solana in particular, are astounding. Obviously Elon was at it again and was out pumping Doge this week. Doge did have a little bit of a pump when Elon mentioned it on the 14th. This is really interesting because, normally, well, not normally, last year or earlier this year, if Elon would have said Doge, 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 right? Like you can see over here, let me go back. Look at what happened when Elon was talking about Doge back in April, right? I mean, the world went nuts. It went from basically 4 cents to, upwards of 50 cents within days, right? And so Elon talking about Doge is not having the same effect anymore. And thank God. Okay, we don't need one person having the power to pump up a $20 billion cryptocurrency. That is not a good thing. And so there was a bit of a pump, but it's basically been more or less muted since then. And like I said, I think that's a good thing. On the Cardano front, it's definitely had a pullback. I think the reaction to the way they handled the smart contract launch was very disappointing for the markets. I think there's a lot of skepticism right now around the usage of Cardano. I actually remain bullish on the technology. And I took a little bit of flack for some of the comments I made on Ron's show a few weeks ago. Let me clarify. I am super bullish on the Cardano technology. I think Cardano has a developer support challenge right now. I don't know how they're going to overcome this. I hope they do. I think Charles is brilliant. I think the platform is really interesting. It's a complex platform, no doubt about it, but it does a lot of things really well. And, from an academic perspective, it is really one of the most interesting platforms out there. But if it doesn't get developer support, it doesn't matter. And that's their challenge. And I hope they figure it out. But in the meantime, like I said, they're not getting much love in the crypto markets, certainly not relative to Solana or, or DOT or any of the other interesting platforms out there. Okay. So let's see what else. So as I said, Bitcoin still in the chop. I expect the chop to resolve itself pretty soon. Let me see if there's anything else you all are asking about that we should talk about. Not really seeing anything else. I think for the most part, we're following and waiting for Bitcoin and Ethereum to resolve themselves. Just looking at the chat here before we get into AMA to see if there's anything specific on this question. Okay. All right. So let's let me stop the screen share. All right, there I am. So we will get into some questions here. Give me 1 second. And right. So all of us here at Abra are focused on making Abra the safest, easiest cryptocurrency app to use. It's the only place that I trade day to day. And here's how easy it is to trade on Abra. All right, welcome back. All right, let's get into some questions. They've been queuing up for quite a while here. We see a lot of viewers today. So let's see. So first of all, let's talk about support. I'm seeing a lot of requests here for people waiting on rewards for Cprx. If you're waiting on your Cprx rewards, please don't contact support. We're well aware that the system is behind on giving out Cprx rewards. It will get caught up, I promise. We're about 2 weeks behind on Black Friday and other rewards. I promise you we will get to them, okay? There's no need to No need to follow up with support on that. And some of you are asking about Cprx on other exchanges. A couple of you have asked about that. So we're not responsible for listing Cprx on other exchanges, although I've heard from the Crypto Banking Alliance that it is happening, and their team is working with other exchanges to get Cprx listed. My understanding is besides Abra, Bittrex, it's on Uniswap as well. And I think one of the other DEXs, decentralized exchanges. So there are enough places right now if you're motivated to get your Cperks. If you're looking and buying in larger amounts, Abra's OTC desk can support you. So you can send a message to us, to our sales team, and we'll put the email address for them on the chat. But you can go to abra.com, contact the sales team through our Platinum site, and you can buy Cprx even in much, much larger amounts. And I have no opinion on Cprx going up or down. Look, my opinion is that Crypto Perks, Cprx, is going to become the basis for a really interesting DAO model next year. That DAO will basically become the first kind of rewards-based solution that is not owned by any one company, where basically the holders of the DAO or the coins in the DAO, in this case Cperks, will be able to make all the decisions regarding the future of the DAO. And I predict that other companies will also adopt Cperks for their rewards currency as well. And you're going to see other projects announced next year that also take advantage of Cperks. So while I don't make price predictions on Cperks itself, I'm holding a lot of it. I'm not selling any of it. I'm actually buying more of it myself, just like some of you are. I actually would not be surprised if the value of Cperks went up, significantly in the coming weeks. Somebody was asking me about Basic Attention Token, which is the token for the Brave browser. We're a big supporter of Brave. Abra has been running ads there, and many of you have joined us via Brave. I'm really bullish on what they're doing. I'm getting more, but the more I use Brave, the more bullish I get. Okay, so yeah, still, and again, following up on support, we have basically been inundated with hundreds of thousands of new users. The support for Abra over the last, 6-8 weeks has been astounding. We're so excited about the support for Abra, but it has inundated us with questions around Cperks and getting rewards and other things. And so as a result, we're having a tough time getting through all the support tickets. We're throwing more resources at it as fast as we can. But please don't contact us about getting the rewards. We promise you we'll get to them. And thank you for your patience on that. And let's see, some more questions. Let's see. So Cperks, again, in terms of taxes, that's between you and your lawyer. If you're not selling, you shouldn't have a tax obligation. But again, I'm not a lawyer. If you have a Prime Trust account registration pending, and it's been pending for more than 2 or 3 days, then you should definitely contact support. Usually they will send you an email asking for more information, like a bank statement or a better copy of an ID. Robert has a good question. When will Abra add a cost basis indicator for cryptos purchased? Robert, the problem and the reason we don't have that today is that about 60% of the crypto in Abra is deposited from outside of Abra, meaning we actually don't know what the cost basis is. So there's no way for us to show it. And we've played with the idea of people being able to type in the cost basis manually. Most people in our tests aren't willing to do it. And so either because they're afraid or they're lazy and whatever. I don't know why, Robert, but so far we haven't found a viable solution to that problem. Okay. Um, let's see. Eargas talks about adding more metaverse tokens. I would not be surprised to see that come to pass. Doors, as I said, if you're waiting on Prime Trust and you're waiting more than 2 or 3 days, definitely send a note to support. Everybody's asking me, do I think Cprx is going to go up? I just gave you my opinion on Cprx. I think it's got an incredible future ahead of it. Abra is 100% dedicated to Cprx. The price going up or down in the short term isn't really that relevant to us because, it's so new and not a lot of people know about it yet. Those of you who know about it, you're in early. And as the awareness and excitement for Cprx increases, as I've seen with other tokens, you can guess, I suppose surmise what might happen. But anyway, C. White asks if I have thoughts on stable coins being over-regulated and crypto being debanked like gun manufacturers were. So that's a really good question. I've talked about this before. There was a concerted government effort around trying to close bank accounts for businesses that the Obama administration did not like. And this was considered ultimately an illegal practice. And the government has committed to stopping the practice. That's specifically with, gun sales, money service businesses like money transfer. Now, crypto is being treated differently because the FDIC considers crypto much higher risk. They can make different rules. And so there hasn't been a proactive debanking of crypto companies, but it has been very difficult for crypto companies to get bank accounts. In Abra's case, we've been around for a long time. We bank with several different companies, so we have no concerns. But I know lots of startups have had this issue. Somebody asked if Abra relies on any DeFi protocols for generating yield. Timothy asked that. Great question. We do use a small amount of DeFi. It's very small. The returns have been fantastic, but we're super conservative. We've been very hesitant to do other things in DeFi that some of our competitors have done. You probably saw that Celsius lost $50 million in the Badger DAO hack. Anyway, these are things that Abra has been very, very reluctant to do. And honestly, exactly for this reason. I think that a lot of these DeFi contracts are not being tested correctly. So when Abra gets into this, we go slow. We actually test them for a while ourselves in very small amounts of money, and then we'll go in bigger. But actually, we've shrunk our exposure to DeFi, We've shrunk our exposure to DeFi in the last few weeks, and it was already pretty small, but it's there, it's small. We may grow it over time. I would like to grow it over time because I'm super excited about the future of DeFi, but I'm concerned about the way some of these testing contracts are being tested. Okay. All right. So let's see other questions. Let's see. Good questions. A lot of questions on Cprx. I'm not going to talk anymore about the price of Cprx, but seeing lots of questions. Oh yeah. So debit card, credit card, stay tuned. Can't give everything away. Yeah. And let's see, I'll take one more question. No more Cprx questions. I love the support for Cprx, but I am not a price oracle for Cprx. Okay, so I'm probably one of the biggest holders of Cprx. I have no intent to sell any of it anytime soon. All right, so that should tell you all you need to know. And you can see the market cap of Cprx if you go to Coin Market Cap. You simply multiply the current price times 3 billion, and that gives you the market cap. So look, you're talking about a rewards token that didn't exist. It did not exist 2 months ago, and it's now worth over $300 million. That is astounding. Okay. And that basically says to me, people are excited about this. Yeah, so let's see. I'm having a hard time scrolling through the questions because it jumps around so fast. I'm trying to find one more excellent question here. Let's see. Yeah. So the trading reward is 20% cheaper than the market price. That is not true to my knowledge. I'll check on that. But the trading reward is based upon the current market sell price. It was designed for that. And yeah, there is no pump and dump going on with Cprx from within Abra. I can assure you that. And if you look at the trading volume, it's basically been pretty steady. And I think it's actually going to go up over time. Okay. Somebody asked what I think about Sandbox. Duke, I think Sandbox is really interesting. Why don't you ask me about that on the next show, and I'll do a little overview of Sandbox and why I think it's interesting. But it is something that I am looking at. We've got some other product announcements in the fund space, some funds that Abra's probably going to be launching, and we'll talk more about that in coming shows. But yeah, so look, I do think we're going to get a show in on Christmas Eve. I'm not 100% sure yet. If we don't, obviously, those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas in advance. But I do have a feeling we will have a show next Friday, probably a very short one to give the awesome Abra team a break. And I also want to give a shout out to the Abra team. You guys have been amazing this year. I'll get into some of the results that Abra is experiencing and has experienced. It's truly astounding. Hundreds of thousands of new users the last few weeks. I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of thousands. I could not be more excited about the progress. Okay, so that having been said, have a great shopping weekend. Looks like Omicron is raging, which means we're all at risk again. I hope you stay safe. If you go shopping, follow the rules. It is what it is. We'll get through this together. And I think next year is going to be a much better year on that front. In the meantime, stay safe. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Money Talks.